Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases and clauses. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases and clauses. This song is a classic, and it explains perfectly what conjunctions do. They connect words, phrases, and clauses. In this lesson, you will learn how to use coordinating conjunctions in German. Specifically, I will focus on und, oder, aber, and denn, but I will also explain a few other more obscure German coordinating conjunctions. There are three main categories of conjunctions in German. The first category of German conjunctions is coordinating conjunctions. They're the easiest to use, which is why we are going to start with them. In future videos, I'll explain the other two categories of German conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and the two-part conjunctions. There is also another category that is often left off of conjunction lists, but I believe it's important for German learners to understand them. They are technically adverbs that act like conjunctions. I'll give you a few examples at the end of this video, and in a few weeks I will teach you a bunch more. Coordinating conjunctions are easier to use than other German conjunctions because they do not affect word order. Subordinating conjunctions require word order changes, and two-part conjunctions require you to understand where to put both parts. Coordinating conjunctions are super easy, barely an inconvenience. As I mentioned in the intro, conjunctions are words that connect parts of sentences together, including words, phrases, and clauses. The difference between each of the conjunctions is how they connect them. Sometimes they connect them into a list. Other times the connection is showing that the words on each side of the conjunction are not in the same group. You'll understand more what I mean when we go through this lesson, but think about that each time we talk about a new conjunction. What is this conjunction saying about the connection between these words, phrases, or clauses? The first and most common coordinating conjunction in German is und. It means and is used just like in English. This conjunction shows you that the words, phrases, or clauses that are connected with it are in the same group. This is great for building lists. You simply add it before the last thing on the list, and now you have a connection between the things on your list. Let's try some examples. Ich habe eine Katze, einen Hund und einen Fisch. I have a cat, a dog, and a fish. In this sentence, I connected three words with the conjunction und. It shows you that I don't just have a dog or a cat or a fish, I have all three. You'll notice that I use the article in front of each noun. This is necessary to show the gender and case like you normally would. Also, notice that there is no comma between the second to last word and und. This is what we call an Oxford comma in English, and in German this does not exist. When making a list of words or phrases in German, don't add a comma before und. You can also connect a phrase or clause with und. Ich bringe meinem Hund Wasser und meiner Katze Milch. I am bringing my dog water and my cat milk. Here we connected the phrase meinem Hund Wasser with meiner Katze Milch. These two phrases are more than just one word, which is what we connected in the previous example. Mein Hund trinkt das Wasser und meine Katze leckt sich. My dog drinks the water and my cat licks itself. This sentence connects two full sentences, which we classify as clauses when they're pushed together like this. You can do this with the conjunction und. These are just a few of the examples of how you can use this conjunction. Try it out in the comments. Write your own sentences using und, and I will take a look to make sure your grammar is right. Next up we have oder, which means or. This is used to create lists as well, but the relationship between the things is different than when we used und. If you use oder, you are saying that the things on the list are not in the same group, but rather that just one of them is. Basically, you're saying that the English conjunction or is the exact same thing as oder. Just like und, you can connect words, phrases, or clauses with oder. Möchten Sie eine Cola, ein Bier oder ein Glas Wein? Would you like a soda, a beer, or a glass of wine? Möchtest du einen Kaffee trinken, einen Film sehen oder baden gehen? Would you like to drink a coffee, see a film, or go swimming? Wollt ihr mit uns fahren oder sollen wir alleine fahren? Would you like to drive with us or should we drive alone? Another conjunction that is often left off of lists like this one is beziehungsweise. It's one of the most commonly used conjunctions, but it's also somewhat difficult to really understand all of the nuances of it. If you break apart the word, you can see what its real use is. Beziehung is a relationship. Weise is a manner or a way in which you do something. This word shows a relationship between two or more things. This definition gives the word the flexibility needed to fit all of the definitions that I'm about to give you. You will often see beziehungsweise abbreviated as BZW. Ich habe 3 Kinder, beziehungsweise 2 Söhne und eine Tochter. I have 3 children, more precisely, 2 sons and a daughter. You can also use beziehungsweise to mean something like as the case may be. Man muss die Wörter kennen, sie zu sagen beziehungsweise zu schreiben. You have to know the words in order to say them or to write them, as the case may be. Sometimes you translate it as respectively. Heute verkaufe ich Erdbeeren und Bananen. Sie sind rot beziehungsweise gelb. Today I am selling strawberries and bananas. They are red and yellow respectively. To keep this lesson simple and not overly cluttered with extra stuff, I'm going to leave the word beziehungsweise for now. If you want me to make a complete video exploring this word in depth, please leave a comment down below. If enough people want it, I'll make a video about it. One of the most useful conjunctions, and one I personally believe is underutilized by German learners, is denn. It means because. All of the other conjunctions in German that mean because are subordinating conjunctions, which means they change the word order. If you are just starting to learn German, you should definitely acquaint yourself with the word denn because it can cure you of your lack of a way to say because in German. Denn cannot connect single words. It is used to connect clauses. It shows a reasoning for the other clause. Here are a few examples of denn. Ich muss jeden Tag arbeiten, denn ich brauche das Geld. I have to work every day because I need the money. Macht sich keine Sorgen, denn weiß, dass die finstere Stunde kurz vor der Dämmerung erscheint. He isn't worried because he knows that the darkest hour comes just before the dawn. Sie ist traurig, denn ihr Hund ist gestern gestorben. She is sad because her dog died yesterday. All of the rest of the conjunctions for today mean but. They each have their own subtle differences and specific uses. The first one is by far the most commonly used and the most versatile of them all. This word is aber. Ich habe einen Hund und einen Fisch, aber keine Katze. I have a dog and a fish, but no cat. Mein Bruder möchte gute Noten in der Schule bekommen, aber macht seine Hausaufgaben nicht. My brother would like to get good grades in school, but he doesn't do his homework. Wir haben unsere Nachbarn eingeladen, aber keiner ist gekommen. We invited our neighbors, but none came. Hat kein Geld, aber kauft trotzdem ein neues Auto. He doesn't have any money, but is buying a car in spite of that. Another conjunction in German that means but is sondern. This word is a bit more than just but, however. It includes a connotation of rather. It shows that the thing mentioned before the conjunction is being negated by the thing after it. This means that the conjunction sondern must be used after a negation of some sort. For example, ich bin nicht hässlich, sondern mittelmäßig. I'm not ugly, but rather mediocre. Das ist keine Katze, sondern ein Hund. This isn't a cat, but rather a dog. Die Frau fährt nicht mit dem Bus, sondern mit dem Zug. The woman isn't riding the bus, but rather the train. Mein Bruder studiert nicht Mathe, sondern arbeitet als Mechaniker. My brother isn't studying math, but rather works as a mechanic. Next up, we have allein. When this isn't used as a conjunction, this word means alone. This gives you a little insight into how this is used as a conjunction. It's like saying, but with this one exception. It's pretty rare to see this used as a conjunction, but I wanted to include it on my list to make sure that it was complete. Personally, I remember the meaning of this conjunction from a line in Rapunzel. When the man goes to the witch's garden to steal the Rapunzel plant for the 3rd time, the witch catches him and says she will let him go with one exception. The line is as follows. Verhält es sich so, wie du sagst, so will ich dir gestatten, Rapunzel mitzunehmen, so viel du willst. Allein ich mache eine Bedienung. Du musst mir das Kind geben, das deine Frau zur Welt bringen wird. If it is as you say, I will allow you to take as much Rapunzel with you as you like. But I make one request or condition. You have to give me the child that your wife will bring to the world. You can read the entire German version of Rapunzel via the link in the description. This was the first instance when I encountered allein as a conjunction, and it reminds me that this is kind of elevated speech, or at the very least not commonly used. You might equate it with the English alas to help you get the idea of how it's used. Here are a few more examples from Goethe's tragic play Faust. Die Botschaft höre ich wohl, allein mir fehlt der Glaube. I hear the message, alas, I lack the belief. Die Kraft ist schwach, allein die Lust ist groß. The strength is weak, alas, the desire is great. I've put a link in the description so you can read Faust as well, but be warned, it is a pretty difficult text to read. A common but sometimes confusing conjunction that also means but is doch. Doch is more closely related to the English conjunction however. It shows a contrast between what comes before the conjunction and what comes after it. Wir haben unsere Nachbarn eingeladen, doch keiner ist gekommen. We invited our neighbors, however none came. Ist müde, doch muss mehr lernen. He is tired, but he has to learn more. Ich höre normalerweise nur Rockmusik, doch Eminem finde ich gut. I usually only listen to rock music, however I find Eminem good. A slightly more emphatic version of doch is jedoch. It has pretty much the same meaning as doch, but adds a little bit of strength to the meaning. It isn't technically a conjunction, however, it's an adverb. Not that the terminology really matters, but the effect it has on the sentence does. Since it's an adverb, it bumps the subject to the other side of the verb, just like any other time you start with a sentence or a clause with anything other than the subject. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'll be making a video about more words like this in a few weeks. Der General wurde verletzt, jedoch zeigte es seinen Truppen nicht. The general was injured, however he doesn't show it to his troops. Das Konzert war großartig, jedoch auch sehr laut. The concert was great, however also very loud. Behauptet, wir haben gewonnen, jedoch haben wir gar nicht angefangen. He claims we have won, however we haven't even started. That's the last of the conjunctions for today. Try some of them out in the comments down below, and I'll let you know if your grammar is correct and if your sentences make sense. If you're looking for more German lessons for beginners, check out my full German for Beginners course linked over here. You can also download my ebook Beginner German with Herr Antrim, which is linked in the description. Das ist alles für heute. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!